we have been dedicated to talking about attachment styles. So let me start off, this is for my own thing. I need this for myself, okay? Yeah. Anxious attachment, we're talking about childhood. Anxious attachment, we're talking about childhood, okay? Look, first and foremost, I want you to understand that when it comes to attachment styles, this is a thing that was born out of an experiment by John Bowlby, who's a British psychologist who spoke about separation anxiety, okay? He monitored young children and how they actually behaved when it came to them and their parents, okay? So he watched how the child would act when the parent would leave the child. Okay, and what he discovered were there were 4 attachment styles, or at least 3 at the time, and then another woman came on and added a 4th. There was secure, there was anxious, preoccupied, and there was dismissive, avoidant at the time. And then Mary Ainsworth came after and committed a 4th one, which is now what we call dysfunctional, disorganized, fearful, avoidant. But today we are talking about anxious attachment. Okay? First and foremost, I need you to understand something. What is anxious attachment? Well, anxiously attached simply means children with an anxious attachment style typically exhibit behaviors that reflect a deep need for closeness and reassurance, okay? Along with a fear of abandonment or rejection. The attachment style often develops when a child experiences inconsistent and unpredictable responses from the primary caregiver, okay? And sometimes a caregiver is attentive and nurturing, while other times they may be distant, neglectful, or unavailable. As a result, children with an anxious attachment style may develop insecurity in relationships, okay? Insecurity in relationships. So we need to start from the very beginning, okay? We need to understand, how are these people born? Because in order to solve the issue when it comes to you either dating an anxious person, maybe you are the anxious person, we need to understand your origin. Once we understand your origin, we can begin to take the axe and start hitting at the root. Because in order to heal you, we need to go back to the very beginning of where it started. The beginning. Okay, and when I coach clients and when I coach people on attachment styles, what I'm getting them to understand is there is a link between your past and your present. You did not just become your present today, you became your present yesterday. Your yesterday is determining your today. And so what you experience in your childhood is what's happening right now. Okay, so let's talk about this. Where are they born? So let me write this down so you can get this, okay? Okay, where are they born? Or how are they, should I say, why are they born? Yeah? Why are they born? Okay, you know me, today I got annotations. I got paper and that, you get me? Man's got annotations and that, you get me? All right? The first question we'll ask is, why are they born? Why are anxious people born? Okay, so anxious people are not necessarily born, but they are made. Okay, because nobody's born any particular attachment style. They are made. Why are they made? Let's talk about first and foremost the caretaker. First and foremost, let me write this caretaker. Okay, all right, the caretaker. All right, so the caretaker right here, the caretaker. All right, the caretaker. Wait, here we go. Hey, blood, caretaker, blood. The caretaker. Okay, fantastic. So the caretaker. Right? The caretaker is the parent. It is the person who's looking after the person, the guardian, whoever, right? And what happens is the guardian themselves, okay, are unable to keep a consistent behavior towards the child. They are unpredictable and inconsistent. Why? Let's say one of these things. They are emotionally available at times, but emotionally distant. So a lot of parents go through this, right? Especially those parents who are going through a survival mode. Maybe you come from another country. Maybe your parents are working too hard. Maybe you're a single parent. Maybe you've got maybe your mom and dad are having relationship issues, whatever it is. There is something happening in the home that makes the caregiver or the parent or the guardian makes them inconsistent and makes them unpredictable. And so one of the ways this happens is they are emotionally available at times, but emotionally distracted. So if you ever had a child be like, come up to the parent, and some days the parent's like, oh my God, love you, come on, let me give you a hug. Are you okay? What's going on? And then some days your mom was a tyrant or your dad was a tyrant, right? So you get this inconsistent behavior where at one point the mom is very much, I say tyrant's the wrong word, but one minute the mom or the dad is very, very loving, very caring, very attentive. The next minute they're like, oh, please just, not now, Susie, I'm busy. Can't you see I'm busy? right? So you're not necessarily scared of your parent, but you realize there is an inconsistency. You can't always go to your parent because they are inconsistent. Okay? All right? So another thing is this, that they can be highly responsive. The caregiver can be highly responsive. Number two, they can be highly responsive, but cold and withdrawn and punitive when they are stressed. So if you had a parent, for instance, single parents, there's a lot of them, okay? A lot of single parents, the mom especially is maybe looking after the child. They're stressed, they're overworked, they're overburdened. They have too many things going on, and they got their children with them. And now they got to not only provide financially, but they got to give themselves emotionally to that child. And at points, they're feeling good. There's some days where the parent is feeling amazing, feeling wonderful, feeling great. And there are other days where the parent's like, I just don't have anything to give. And it's too much, it's too overwhelming, and they're just like, I just can't do this. And the child senses that and feels it and realizes that the parent is no longer approachable. The parent is no longer at this moment loving or caring in the way that they need. Okay, all right? And so that withdrawn response versus them being highly responsive creates the unpredictability. Okay, all right? And the third one is that the caregiver puts what we call conditional love on the child. So if you were loved because you were great at sports, maybe you were loved because you were great at academics. Maybe you were loved because you were good at violin. Maybe you were loved because you were good at, good at, I don't know, drawing, whatever it was. You were good at something and your parents praised you, but only because you did that. Okay? Only because you did that. So only because a parent decided that this was good for them, that they gave you attention. And when you were quote unquote bad, you weren't given any attention, you were punished. Right? So what happens is, of course, children should be disciplined. But what needs to happen is what we call a repair. Now, what a lot of parents don't do is the repair. What they do is the punishing without the repair. What does a repair look like? Well, a repair looks like, let me write this down because I want to make sure this is also my notes for you guys, okay? Because this is really important. If you're a parent, if you are a brother or a sibling, this is also important. If you're in a relationship, this is very important. The word repair is actually crucial because some of you will be given discipline to your children and they're not repairing what happened. You can't give discipline without a repair, okay? Can't tell them to go on a naughty step and then don't give them a repair, okay? The word repair. Okay, this is very important. What is a repair? The repair is exactly what the name says. It is to repair the relationship. Let me give you an example. If the child has been naughty and bad and you put that child on a naughty step, great, you've done well. That's amazing. Now what you need to do is then invite that child after the child has done its time and crime, and it's done its time for the crime, okay? You're meant to invite that child and repair the relationship. Show that child that you are not at odds, or there is no animosity left between you and that child. Once they've done their time for the crime, you invite them back into relationship. Hey, how are you okay? What's going on with you? Do you understand why I put you on the naughty step? Do you understand why you had to be that time out? Okay, what do you want for dinner? I've got you. Don't you worry about that. I love you and I still care about you. But we have to also be disciplined. The conversation after, they're letting them know that, listen, you have not changed your position. A lot of parents don't do that. A lot of parents have not done that. What they do is they punish and then they don't repair. Right? And so the child is left with this conditional love the parent is giving. That's how it feels like. Okay? Right? Yes, the reassurance is needed after. And a lot of children don't get that. Okay? Because a lot of parents don't realize they have to do that. Why? Because they never had it themselves. Their own parents never repaired the relationship. You just got on with it. Okay? Now, while that might have worked for somebody in survival, we're trying to thrive. We're trying to be the best that we can be. We're trying to be better than our forefathers and our generations before us. So, in order to do so, we need to learn better ways of handling relationships. The repair is important. Not only is it important for your children, it's also important for your relationship. Let me give you an example. For instance, maybe you are dating somebody, right? And you guys had an argument. Now, the repair would be you guys coming back together, having a conversation about what went wrong, and then saying, listen, I still love you and I still care about you. Reassuring each other that we're still in this to win this, right? Maybe your repair could be you go and bake a cake and you say you're sorry. I baked this cake because I appreciate you and I love you and I want you to know I'm still in this to win this. Right? That reassurance and repairing the relationship by doing something to build the bridge back up again is quintessential for healthy relationships. A lot of people don't like to do it because they want to fall back into a routine. Like, okay, it happened. Let's just get back to normal. There is no getting back to normal. We've just done something that's broken the connection. So we need to rebuild that connection by letting each other know what do we need in order to feel reassured in this moment. Right? So you have to understand the repair is essential for you to grow. It's essential for a healthy relationship, and it is essential for you to maintain the relationship. Okay, all right. It lets the other person know that you're not allowing the relationship just to drift. You are willing to make sure that they are safe emotionally. Okay, all right. So after a breakup with a partner, don't be afraid to have a conversation. Don't be afraid to say, hey, look, you know what? Like, what just happened? You know, I have moved past it, but I want to make sure that you're okay. Are you good? We're good. Okay, fantastic. We move forward, right? Or if you're not okay, let's discuss it. What do you need in order to feel better, right? It's also very, very important in order to have healthy relationships as well. So going back on to what we said about the caregiver, it's important that caregivers learn how to repair after they've punished, okay? So 3 reasons I said again, I'll summarize it again. Number 1 is emotional available parents sometimes and emotionally distracted parents sometimes cause anxious children to be born. Number 2 is parents or caregivers who are highly overwhelmed by stress create anxious children. Number 3, highly responsive parents, but then withdrawn parents, at the same time, create anxious children. Okay. And number 4 is that when you love your kids conditionally, and they learn that only when they get good grades, only when they do what you want, only when they obey, only when X, Y, Z do they get love from you. Anything else, you're punishing them for without a repair. And repairing is important. All right, cool. Let's talk about some of these children's behaviors. Or should I say rather, what do the children actually learn from when the parents behave in this particular manner? Before I go any further, if you are here, we've got 60 people in the room, we've got 11.8k likes. I need you, as I'm talking, to get me to 15k likes, okay? So as I'm talking and you appreciate the knowledge I'm spitting right now, I need you to appreciate it by tapping that screen. Why? Because it helps the algorithm, it lets them know that we are doing great work on here, and it invites other people to know that we're doing great work on here. So let's get to 15k plus, and let's keep the show going. Let's talk about what the child learns, okay? Let's talk about what a child learns. What does a child learn? Let me write that down. What does the child learn? Okay. All right. So when a parent is inconsistent, what does the child learn? What does the child learn? Okay. What does a child learn? Okay. So a parent who's inconsistent and unpredictable causes a child to be hyper attuned to emotional shifts. Because the parent is unpredictable and inconsistent, the child learns, I also must be hypersensitive to any changes. Why? Because I don't want to lose the affection of that parent. You have to think about it. The child is not looking at it from the parent's perspective, like, oh, my mum had a hard day at work, so that's why she might be different today. The child just sees there's inconsistency. Thank you very much, Monet. They just see inconsistency and unpredictability. And what they're trying to do is normalize and bring a predictability to the love and affection. They're trying to solve the equation. So what the child learns is, okay, I have to pay more attention so that whenever there's a shift, I will also shift with it, and I will make sure I attune to whatever the parent is giving so I can get my love from them. Problem is, it doesn't actually work. All right? So the child learns to be hypersensitive and hyper attuned or hyper vigilant to any shift. That is when you notice that people can even tell that there's a shift in energy, even over text, like myself. Right? I can tell that even over text, I can tell, energy is different. I don't even need to hear your voice. I just see the way you're texting is different. I noticed that you're using different words. Your length of text has even shifted. Like people that are hyper vigilant pay attention to everything. They can even see just by your facial expression little microbe changes, your eyebrows slightly lifted, a little bit of a bead of sweat, maybe the way that your mouth is even contorting this time, right? Even the cologne you're wearing today, you think that you've chosen a cologne and they're like, the cologne you chose today is very different to what you normally could choose. No, something's off. Something's off. And what are they afraid of? They're afraid that the parent, when they are hypersensitive and hypervigilant, what the anxious person is really saying is, I want to make sure I nip it in the bud before you abandon me or reject me. Because that's what I suffered in childhood. So that hypersensitivity and that hypervigilance is about paying attention to the emotional shifts. It's what people oftentimes call empaths. Most of us are not empaths. I'm sorry to tell you. Most of you are not empaths. Most of you are hypersensitive to emotional shifts. You got trauma. Can I say that again? No, let's talk about it. Because too many people be like, I'm an empath. You're not. You got trauma. Okay? You got trauma. Okay? You got trauma. You're not an empath. Let me write that down. You're not an empath. You've got trauma. Okay? And you're hypersensitive to changes. Okay? You're traumatized. Hold on. Let me write this down so you got this. Okay? Here we go. All right? You're not an empath. You're traumatized. Okay? Let's talk about this really quickly. You're not an empath. You're traumatized. What does that mean? It means this. Some of you will claim that, I just feel energy. I feel the shift in energy. I'm just so hyper attuned. I feel when people just, it's different. The air shifts, I don't know what it is. I just feel it. And a lot of you are not empaths. It's because what you've experienced in your childhood is you've learned how to pick up on things because you were traumatized. In fact, some of you are so good that you can tell who's coming into the house by the way they turn the key in the door. Some of us, we know as African children, you know who's coming up the stairs simply by the weight of the footstep. Yeah? You know who's coming towards your room simply by the do. That's my dad's footsteps. I can tell by the way he's heavy-footed. You're not an empath. You're traumatized. And what you're realizing is because you've dealt with your parents in a particular way where they have made you feel like love is conditional, you are trying to pay attention for when it's about to shift. Because guess what? When they towards your room, you're not sure what parent you're going to get today. You might get, hey, son, it's good to see you. Where have you been? You've been in the room all day. Why are you in the room all day? Or you might get, hey, son, come outside. And you might get beat. So what's happening is a child is learning very quickly, I must discern the sound. In fact, the Bible even talks about this, that we should be able to discern sounds. What is a sound that you can't discern? You know what I'm saying to you? You must begin to discern the sound. And that's just trauma playing a role. So we screaming empath for a lot of us, you not. You traumatized, okay? And you're overcompensating. Please, guys, let's get to that 15K. We're on 14.5. Don't stop. Tap the screen for me, okay? All right. Number 2, for anxious people, is that they get clingy. Number 2, they get clingy. Okay? Why do they get clingy? Well, for anxious people, if they cling and they hold on to you, you can't go anywhere, right? The clinginess is because they have experienced a parent who can come or go, who can be present but not be present. So if they cling on to you, then you can't go anywhere. You can't shift, you can't move, you can't do anything. And they're clinging on to you to make sure that they're close enough so that you don't shift your position. You don't shift your energy towards them. You don't shift your mindset towards them. You don't shift anything towards them. They want you to stay consistent. It's funny because as you become more clingy, the more inconsistent some people are going to become because it's overwhelming. But they're trying to cling on to you to get consistency. Funny. Anxious people are the children. They learn to be overgivers. Why? Because for them, they feel like they're not worthy. Okay? And they have to overgive so you can stay. You see, the anxious person has learned that a parent will come or go. They're unpredictable. They may be good today, but bad tomorrow. And what the child learns is, if I overgive, then I will prove myself to be worthy and you won't come and go. You'll be consistent. I will buy your love. Whether that's with my time, with my energy, with my money, with even my body, I will buy you. And I will always feel like I have to give more than actually what's required, because if I give more, then you'll stay. And so the anxious person is always giving more than they actually should give, doing more than they should do, because they need that validation and they need that reassurance as well. Okay? Number 4 is they are approval seeking. Anxious people are always looking for approval. Okay? The reason being, once more again, is because what they grew up in a household was they were not approved for being themselves. I was just thinking about this today as I was walking in, London. I was walking in London before I got home, and I said, oh, wait, one of the things that I do is that, I do seek approval. I realize I do seek approval a lot of times, even though I'm a more dismissive avoidant, but we're all dealing with anxiety in different ways. I do seek approval. Right? And that seeking approval is all about you not being approved. That's why there's word seeking approval. And that comes in different ways. You become a chameleon to seek approval. You join groups that you don't really want to be a part of, but you want their approval and their validation. You say yes to engagements that you really want to say no to, but you're afraid that they're going to look at you and say they don't like you. You do things that is against your actual nature, but because you don't want to feel like you are not being liked. You don't want to feel like they're going to leave you for not doing it. Because again, love for you was conditional. You were loved when you were doing right. You were loved when you were doing good. You were loved when you were doing the right thing. But you weren't loved for just being you. And that's why you are always going to be seeking approval, becoming a chameleon, shifting and shaping yourselves into any type of shape or so you can fit into that particular group. Right? Okay. All right. And then the 5th one is they are emotionally flooded in their behavior. So anxious people get overwhelmed. Okay. Anxious people get overwhelmed. They feel like they're being flooded by a lot of information, which is why them and fearful avoidance share common bonds. Okay. They feel like there's too much going on, overstimulated almost, right? And it's because, I believe one of the things is because, again, their hypervigilance, they're taking in too much information. They're processing far too much information. And what's happening is, because they're trying to sense when you're going to leave, they're trying to sense when when you're shifting your energy, they're trying to sense when, something's not quite right. They're always what we call switched on. And that makes it difficult, because if you're always switched on, you can't turn off. Anxious people, you struggle with sleep. Can we talk about this? Okay, let's talk about this. Anxious people, you struggle with sleep. Those of you who are anxious, you know what I'm talking about. Sleep is hard to come by. You try to sleep, but your body just seems to be going round and wow. It don't stop. Anxious sleep, struggle. Okay? Anxious struggle with sleep. Okay? Anxious sleep, struggle. Okay? Right? Now, why is that? Because you're not safe. Because you're not safe. Now, that comes in 2 formats. You don't feel safe emotionally. You also don't feel safe mentally. You don't feel safe physically. Now, you can be in a place where you could be dating someone, right? And you'll find that you can only sleep when they are next to you. Or you'll find that you never can sleep when they're next to you. That's probably an indication you're not safe. But if you can sleep when somebody's next to you, more than likely it's because you feel a level of safety when that person's next to you. They're providing physical safety, which is turning into emotional safety, which is now giving you the ability to sleep. Right? Some of you struggle to sleep when you are all alone. The reason being is because you fear being alone, that physically you might be attacked. You fear that, you might, that if you fall asleep, you're going to miss something. You are fearing because you're like, have I done everything I'm meant to do today? I've got a to-do list and I haven't done all the things on the to-do list. And really and truly, all you're fearing in those things, when you're alone and you're fearing those things, it's because you're afraid that if you don't do it right the first time, or you don't do it right, you're going to be abandoned, you're going to be rejected, and you're going to be betrayed. Someone's going to leave you because you didn't do it right. That's your thought process. They're going to dislike me if I didn't do it right. They're not going to want to be around me if I didn't do it right. I'll be fired from my job if I didn't do it right. Or I won't get that bonus if I didn't do it right. You know, my kids will hate me if I didn't do it right. You know, my parents won't love me the same way if I didn't do it right. It's always about you didn't do something, you didn't do something, you didn't do something, right? And so actually you struggle to sleep because your mind is consistently trying to figure out problems. You need to stop trying to figure out everybody's problems. The reality is you're not even, half the time, you're not even figuring out your own problems. You're figuring out other people's problems as your problems. That's the struggle. That's the big struggle. A lot of people struggle, and they're not even struggling with their own problems. They're struggling with someone else's problems that they've inherited as their own, and they're now making it their issue. And it's like, why? It's not even your issue. It's somebody else's issue. Okay, right? So anxious people, oftentimes that's a struggle for them as well. They can't turn off their brains. They have to always be on the go. You know, they're always on the go, always on the move. You know, you can tell because they can't sit still for 5 minutes, right? Their brain has already gone to the next list that they need to solve. Why? The laundry hasn't been done. The kids haven't done this. The homeworks. I haven't cooked dinner. You know, my husband hasn't got his bath yet. You know, digga. And you are taking on stuff that is not even yours. And what it's doing is it's going to rob you of your safety. Making a list about a list, exactly. Right? It's robbing you of your emotional safety. You cannot solve every issue. And even if you can't solve every issue, I want you to understand that you not solving every issue doesn't make you less than. That's a conditional type of love. You are not less than or less valuable because you cannot solve everything on that list. Even CEOs don't finish off their whole entire list. So understand that you're not valued because you move. You're not valued because you do. You're valued because of who you are. Now, if you make yourself a value of what you do, people will value for what you do. If you think you're valuable to your friends because of how much you plan for the holidays and you plan for the trips and you plan X, Y, and Z, guess what's going to happen? The day you don't plan X, Y, and Z, you're going to start feeling like you don't have no value in that friendship because you've based your value on what? On the fact that you must move. Sleep will come when you decide to put yourself as a priority and you learn emotional safety. You learn that actually you can't solve every issue. Okay? When you learn that, you will start to realize you take a lot more stress off your shoulders. Okay? All right, cool. Okay, so for the anxious person, they are hyper attuned to emotional shifts, scanning constantly for signs of abandonment, rejection, or neglect. The child develops anxiety around connection. They hyper focus on relationships, desperate to keep love close. They blame themselves for inconsistency. Maybe if I was better, they'll stay. A lot of times when it comes to anxious people, they believe they have more power to change people than they actually do. They got almost this codependent spirit where they believe that if only they did X, Y, and Z, it would change. Can I be honest with you? If only you did X, Y, and Z, you'd have found out you still couldn't change it. Okay? If only you did X, Y, and Z, you would have found that you still cannot change it. What does that mean? It means some things can't change. Okay? You can't solve them. Okay? So you're going to have to let that thing go. But again, we're not in that space just yet. Okay? And anxious people too also, they do too much focus on external things. They're too focused on other relationships. Their relationship. They focus on the other person so much. They over-identify with the other person. So much so they self-abandon. Okay? So much so they self-abandon. Okay? And self-abandonment just simply means you put your needs aside to make other people comfortable to meet their particular needs. Okay? Alright, cool. Alright, let's talk about this again. So, number one, let's talk about this. Performance-based love. Children who become anxious, they are born because of performance-based love. Let's deal with this. Hold on. Let me deal with the section, okay? Let me just write this down. Anxious attachment. Let me write this down so you guys got it, okay? All right, cool. All right. Let's talk about what it looks like. Okay, let's talk about what it looks like. What it looks like. All right, what does it look like? Okay, what does it look like? What it looks like. Okay, anxious, what it looks like. Okay. All right, so performance-based love from a parent. Okay, number one. Performance-based parent from a parent looks like you got an A, and they tell you, "I'm so proud of you. Come here." They give you a hug. And then another situation could be you got a C, and they're like, "I don't want to even talk to you right now." So you see the shift? At one point, they were like, you got an A, I'm so proud of you. And they're like, "Come here." But then you got a C, and they're like, "You know what? Don't talk to me right now." That's the unpredictability, and that is a conditional love of the parent, okay? Where they praise only your grades, your trophies, your manners. And that, for the child, they learn that I am lovable when I'm impressive. I'm unworthy when I'm average or flawed. If you got a perfectionist spirit, this is for you. Listen again. If you got a perfectionist spirit, it's for you. The child learns I'm lovable when I'm impressive. When I'm winning, when I'm on top, that's when I will get love. But I'm unworthy when I'm average or flawed. So when you are looking at your work that you're doing and you keep on scrunching it up like I do sometimes, you throw it away, you start again, 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 and you start again because you feel like it's not perfect, it's not right just yet, and I can't put that out. And really and truly, you're afraid that you will not be considered worthy, you'll be considered incompetent, you'll be considered average, you'll be considered not good. And so you're afraid of that feeling. And so you actually, learn that unworthiness comes when you're average, rather than looking at it as everybody's average, first and foremost. But you should be loved because of who you are, and that should be the case. But a lot of people are born in households where they're performance based. Okay, all right. So very important. Number two. Emotional compliance love. So if you grew up in a household where you saw this, where the child might have been happy, they'll tell you, "Listen, you're my sunshine. I love you so much. You're so an amazing kid. This is my son and my daughter who I'm well and truly pleased with," because you're showing positive actions to your emotions. But emotional compliance looks like this. When the child is angry, sad, grieving, any kind of quote unquote negative emotion, they're telling you, "Go to your room, you can't act right. I don't want to see you like this." So any kind of the negative emotions, they kind of almost like dismiss you. But any of the positive emotions, they're like, "Come on, that's my child. Look at how happy they are. Look how amazing they are. Look how wonderful they are. I love you," But they push you away when you have negative feelings. Big. Okay, so what that does is that the child learns that the only emotions that are acceptable are when they're easy and they are happy and calm. Okay, all right, and what they realize is shame, embarrassment, and guilt and punishment comes when they are sad, angry, or overwhelmed. And this is why when somebody is an anxious person and they see someone else being angry, sad, grieving, they can sometimes get a little bit startled because they're not sure how to handle it. They may cling just out of the fact that, okay, I'm not sure, does that mean they're going to leave me or they're going to abandon me? Or they may find themselves in a space where actually, that they over-identify with the emotions. They now take your emotions as theirs. So you're sad, you're angry. Now they're sad, they're angry. Right? Because what they really are trying to do is what their parents could not do. Let's talk about that. Okay? Let's talk about that. Okay? Let me do it. Yeah, over-identify. Let me write that down. Over-identify. Okay. All right. Over-identify. Over-identify. Okay. So when there are negative emotions, like there are tears, there are sadness, there's anger, there's frustration, there's grief, there's disappointment, you start to over-identify with those emotions. The negative ones. Why? Because you're trying to show that you have a level of empathy for them. But really and truly, what's actually happening is you are over-identifying and then you're taking their emotions as yours. Again, I'm an empath. That's why. No, most of you are not. Most of you are not. You're hypervigilant, and then also you are emotionally compliant. You take on other people's emotion because really and truly what you're trying to do is you're trying to change your history. You're trying to do something different, what never happened to you. You didn't get validated in your emotions when they were negative. You were praised for your positive ones, but your negative emotions, you weren't praised for. So guess what happens now? You meet your friend and you mirror their emotions, but really and truly, yes, you might be supporting them, but actually what you're doing is you're trying to give them what you never had. That's not necessarily a bad thing, but what ends up happening is you over-identify to a point you self-abandon. That's the issue. The issue isn't that you actually start to identify. You over-identify by self-abandoning. So if they are angry, you're angry with them, but now you're forgetting how you actually feel about what you felt about. So they're angry and now you're angry, and now whatever emotion you had, whatever feelings you had have now gone. Whatever needs you have now gone, because all you think about is now what they are feeling. And that's a problem. And guess who pays for that? Your partner or your friends or your family. Why? Because eventually it builds up and you're like, no one ever cares about me. No one thinks about me. No one thinks about my emotions. Nobody thinks about what I go through. And it's because you denied all your emotions by over-identifying with mine, right? You denied your own emotions by over-identifying with mine. And now you expect me to do what you do. And I can't do that. I can't be codependent, right? I can't be codependent as you are, where you want to live in my skin and take on my issues as your own. No. Okay? So you gotta pay attention to that, because that's how especially women fall into relationship issues where they're like, that man, you can tell by the way he's telling his story. You're like, oh my God, I can't believe he's just telling me all this stuff. Like, he just trusts me. I really understand where he's coming from. Like, he's going through so much pain and and you're over-identifying to a point where you forgot your own boundaries. The guy's a bastard. He's a idiot. He's a player. He's a dickhead. He's a Bob. Now you become the Bob the Builder. Because now you're saying, you know what? I'm just holding space for him. Because I can feel his heart. I can feel your heart crying out for me. You start to. I need to hold space for him. He needs to know that somebody understands him. And really and truly, all that's happening is you're seeing yourself in him. Nobody understood you, and so you're trying to understand him. But by you understanding him, you at the same time you are now forgetting your own needs. I can feel your heart crying out for me. Okay. Let's get to 20K likes, guys. Let's get to 20K likes. Get me to 20K likes, please. Let's get to 20K likes. Get me to 20K likes and help me out, okay? Help me out. Okay? Help me out. Get me to 20K likes so I know that I'm not talking to myself and I'm not talking nonsense. You get what I'm saying to you? All right, now let's get to this one. Okay? Good, bad behavior. Okay? All right? Good behavior means worthiness. Bad behavior means rejection. Okay? Good behavior means worthiness. Bad behavior means rejection. Okay? Let's get into this. Okay, so what does it look like? It looks like this. You're such a good boy today. You deserve a hug. Now, listen to this. The wording is really important. You are such a good boy today. You deserve a hug. The child melts down later on, has an issue. Maybe they got frustrated about something. And the parent responds, I don't even want to deal with you. Get out my face. Now, very similar to the one I just said about over-identifying. Okay, very similar again, but here the whole point is, what do you deserve? Right? The child is learning that they don't deserve anything good unless they are good, which is breeding this good behavior means worthiness, bad behavior means rejection, which is why anxious people can't be are struggling to be bad. When I say bad, what I mean by that is they struggle to really take accountability. No offense to me, some of you don't take accountability. To be honest with you, some of you know you can't take accountability. Let's be honest. Some of you know, and I'm not lying. Because taking accountability, and that's why a lot of women are anxious, right? We talk about women not taking accountability. I'm not saying everyone can't take accountability. I'm just being very clear as a general consensus. What we talk about why you can't take accountability is because, first and foremost, what it means. Good behavior is worthy. Bad behavior is rejection. So if they take accountability, it means they're bad. And that would mean rejection. But that's not the truth. But that's what they've learned. So they've learned, oh, being good, I get rewarded, I get praised. But the moment I'm being told that this is bad, now I realize that I'm about to be abandoned or rejected. So I have to have a self-defense mechanism that does avoid any accountability or me being bad. So what do? You end up becoming a chameleon. You're always nice. You're always friendly. You're always smiling. You're always buying the donuts for work. Right? Going a long way round for work just to get the donuts when you know it's a long way round. It's costing you time. You've always got the hot chocolate for the rest of the crew, but have they bought you one yet? Right? You've done 20 years on a job and not one person from the CEO has praised you, but you've been putting extra hours in every day. You're there late from beginning to the end. Why? Because you don't want to ever be spoken of as being bad. But you're a chameleon. You're people-pleasing. Because you're afraid that if they speak bad about you, that would mean rejection. But let me tell you this now. People speak bad about you whether you like it or not. You have to accept that. Okay? They're going to speak bad on you whether you're good or bad. You can be good. Jesus was perfect and still they spoke bad about him. They spoke the wickedest. They even lied upon his name. So what's to stop you from being spoken bad about? Right? When you're anxious, your thought process is good is worthy, bad is rejection. And I want you to understand, bad is not rejection. Now, some people might reject you. They needed to go. Okay? They needed to go. Okay? So understand that again, what we must place ourselves into is understanding that you don't have to earn love. Love is not earned, okay? We don't have to earn love. It's not something I'm given because it's not because I'm given it because I performed or I was good. Oh, they're going to give me love. They're going to give me this affection that I want because I performed. Or I cooked dinner last night. I cooked dinner this week. And finally, they'll see me for who I am. I bought all the donuts at work. Finally, they'll see me for who I am. Oh, yes, I picked up the kids and, and I did all of these things. And you know what the crazy thing about anxious people is? Is that they do things for you. And as King K said, they self-abandon, which means they release themselves of their own needs, and then they get angry when you don't see the effort they put into it. Anxious people do a lot of work behind the scenes, and they do so much without even being asked. And then when people then don't see the effort they put in, they get angry, they get hurt, they get frustrated, but then they can't even be fully frustrated because if they get angry and get frustrated, then they would have to show their true colors, which will lead them back to here again, which will make them feel like they're going to get rejected. So guess what? They're now imprisoned within themselves. They're now building resentment and bitterness within themselves because they feel imprisoned by their own perfectionist imagery they've built up for everybody else. In order for them to receive the validation and the liking that they have so they won't receive rejection. You are imprisoned by the prison that you placed yourself in. You have the key already. You have the key already. Yeah. Stop thinking everybody thinks like you. Not everybody is reading minds. Not everybody is anticipating. Like, you want people to anticipate people's needs like you do. And they can't. They actually can't. Why? Because they're not being hypervigilant like you are. Right? You're being hypervigilant and you are literally you're watching every little movement. Let me give you another example. Ladies, this is for you. This is for you ladies, you know what I'm saying too? Because women do this a lot with men, okay? All right? Women do this a lot with men, okay? They'll be like, I pay attention to everything. You know? And they mean everything. Okay? They mean everything. They pay attention to everything. Okay? And then the man can't compete. Right? So he misses something, and she's like, "Oh, you don't care about me." Damn. He ain't got nowhere to go. Why? Because she places an expectation of her hypervigilance on him. She projects that everybody should react the exact same way by overpaying attention to situations. He should do the exact same thing. And when he doesn't do it, you hold him to that standard and then you nail him to the cross. And really your frustration isn't with him, it is with what he represents. His inability to get it right is your parents' and your caregivers' inability to get you right. His inability to miss something is the same feeling you get from when your parents didn't do the exact same thing. And now he is doing what your parents did, and that's annoying, that's frustrating. Because you picked somebody not to do what your parents did. And that hurts. That hurts. But it's a silent effort you're putting in. People don't often see what you're doing because you do it silently. I know you guys are listening to me and you know what I'm talking about. You do it silently. There's so much work that you do in people's lives that they don't even know you're doing. Like, if you stop doing it, they would collapse. But while that sounds amazing and sounds so noble and sounds so, modest, really and truly, what you're doing, okay, right, is you're going unaccounted for. So now you are hoping for somebody to see you. You actually are hoping for someone to see you. And guess what's going to happen? They ain't going to see you. And then you're going to get angry and hurt and bitter. Why? I don't want to make noise. I'm doing it at the greater than my heart. I don't want to rock the boat. I thought like, I see an issue. I thought I should do it, but really and truly, you're doing it silently. Okay. All right. Remember, love is not earned. Okay. It's not earned. Okay. It's given, but it's not necessarily earned. All right. Number 4, a busy but loving parent. Okay. Busy but loving. Okay. Busy but loving parent. We've all been here. Okay. Busy but loving parent. Thank you very much. I appreciate it, Such a J. Busy but loving parents. Okay. What does that look like? Okay. Busy but loving parents. What does that look like? Thank you very much, Awful. I appreciate you. Awful Mary. Is it Awful Mary? Me. I don't know. I'll kill people's names here. I apologize. What does that look like? A busy but loving parent. Okay. Many of you have parents. Okay. Hey, Esmeralda. Good to see you. Many of you have parents who you might have had 2 parents. This is my favorite one. Let me tell you why it's my favorite one. Because when this person comes into my coaching practice, they start off the story like this. I had a great childhood. Yeah, I did this with my parent, I did that with my parent, we went here, we went there, I did X, Y, and Z, and yeah, I have an amazing childhood. And I sit there and I go, so why the heck are you with me? You meant to be secure. You should be okay. Okay. All right. Right. And then we start asking real questions. Okay. So what was your relationship like with your mother or your father growing up? Okay, well, my parent wasn't necessarily there. Like, no, my mum worked a lot, my dad worked a lot, and here's what they do. They go like this, and I totally understand it because, they had bills to pay, and then there's 3 of my other siblings as well. They had to make sure that the food in the fridge, had to make sure there's a roof over our head, and what they don't realize is their parent was busy, but they were loving. So the parent wasn't necessarily rude, they weren't disrespectful or anything like that, but they were busy. They were unable to form a deep connection with that parent or unable to form the kind of connection they needed in order to be secure because the parent was consistently busy. Money on my mind. It takes time to take time. See where I'm from, we do what we do when there's money on my mind. All right. So when the parents got the money on the mind, they're straight on the grind. Yeah. What they're thinking about is survival. And yet the child is over identifying with the parents and going, I understand why my parents did what they do. And so they make a narrative that says, I had a great childhood, not realizing they were robbed by the parent, not on purpose. And that's what makes it difficult for the child to really understand. They're like, I can see they weren't doing it on purpose. They weren't trying to hurt me. They weren't trying to neglect me. But they weren't trying to be inconsistent. I don't even see it as that, because really and truly, again, they're looking at the effort of the parent, which makes sense. Right? Because children are pretty much narcissistic. They believe everything's about them. But anxious children are over-identifying. Okay? All right? They're over-identifying. So it might look like this. You might say, come here, let's cuddle one day. And then another day, the parent might say they're too tired. In fact, people who have grown up in households where the parent was sick, you know this one. In fact, let me type down. That's a special one. Let me write that down, because that's a special one. This one's for you guys. Those of you who had a parent who's sick, you know what I'm talking about. Okay? You had a parent that was sick. This is for you. Okay? Sick parent. Let me write this. Sick parent. Let me write this one down for you. Okay? Sick parent. This one is for you. Sick parent. Now, people who are anxious, oftentimes, especially if they grew up in a household where either there was a sibling or a parent, somebody was sick in that household where their parents could not put all their effort and attention into 1, 2, 3, or 4 of the children. I don't know, whichever one. But somebody was sick. Could have been grandma. It could have been granddad. It could have been mom. It could have been dad. It could have been a sibling. Somebody was sick in that household, and so all the attention has to go to the person who's sick. And because in that place, parents get stressed by the overwhelming demands of having to deal with another person in the household who is not able-bodied, and so the child, okay, becomes second best because the person who's sick must get all the best. So there are so many people who have come to my client practice, and I'm not mentioning anybody's names, I like confidentiality, who have been in households where there's a sibling who's sick, and they don't hate their sibling. No, they over-identify. I understand where my sibling was coming from. I get it. My sibling was, my sibling had to, go to the hospital all the time. They had to be special visits by the doctors. We had to take them to this place, take them to that place, and so they realize that they don't want to be selfish now. Of course not, right? But they had to learn how to self-abandon. They had to learn how to stop identifying with their own needs and identify with whose? Someone else's needs. Okay? And so you start to realize your needs are not important because whoever's sick is more important than you. What if I'm the sick parent? Yes, if you are the sick parent. She said, obviously, what if you are the sick parent? B said, what if you are the sick parent? Then there's some work that you can do to be consistent. You know what I mean? Like, it's all about being consistent. And so you may not have time, let's say right now, right? It's about the communication. Let me give you an example. Like, you may be sick, right? And it's going to be very hard because you're sick. I think you can do that. You know what I'm saying to you? But if you're able to at least just talk, it's good to say, listen, hey, baby, I don't have the strength right now. Can we, and let a child know, come back in an hour's time. Let's talk. Let's play a little bit in an hour's time, right? Just give yourself a little bit of time. You may not have it. And again, by the way, some of this will be unavoidable. I want you to understand. B, some of this is going to be unavoidable and there's nothing you can do about it, right? You can only pray for the strength of God. That's it. You know what I'm saying to you? So I don't want you to be like beating yourself down with a stick, because I said, obviously, when a parent is sick, some things cannot be avoided. It is that simple. There's nothing you can do. So if you keep thinking you can change it, you're going to hurt yourself. Just do the best that you can do. If you are sick to a point where you can't even talk, you can't move, you can't do anything, what can you do? There's nothing you can do. You know what I'm saying to you? Just be as best as you can be when you are finally fighting fit. I do not want you to listen to this message and condemn yourself. That's not what I'm going for. I just wanted to make that very clear. You know what I'm saying to you? I'm only explaining people's backgrounds. Okay? Okay? Yes. Okay? Okay. Love that. Thank you very much. Okay. All right. So, again, sick parents, again, thank you for that as well. Sick parents as well, not easy. You know, it's not easy at all. Okay? And again, like I said, some of this it won't change. You know, just do your best and try as much as you can. That child will understand. We're just talking about what work they will have to do. This is what it is. You know what I'm saying to you? Some of us grew up in households with a sick parent. It is what it is. You can't do nothing about it. You just got to learn to heal. And, you know, all you can do is teach that child how to take accountability. When I say take accountability, but learn to just be a good individual with boundaries. Learn how to be a solid individual and human being. Teach them the right morals. You know what I'm saying to you? They'll have to figure it out on their own when they get older. That's on them. But, you know, it happens. It is what it is. That's life. And that's what all the people say. All right, cool. Okay. All right, so all right. So next thing is emotionally reactive parents. Okay, let's write this one. Emotionally reactive parents. Okay. All right, cool. Emotionally reactive parents. Emotionally reactive parents. Here we go. Okay? Emotionally reactive parents. Okay? Now, if you've got parents who are emotionally reactive, it means that they are volatile. You do not know what you're going to get. Okay? Right? You do not know what you're going to get from day to day. They are emotionally volatile. Their responses can be some way. Okay, all right. Some days they're responsive in a good way. Some days they're responsive in a bad way. But their response in a bad way creates the roller coaster effects. Okay. All right. So, for you to understand that emotionally, and my thing is like emotionally reactive parents also for me is about ill proportioned reaction. You know what I mean? Ill proportion reacting. And so the ill proportion reaction to the child's behavior is what causes anxious attachments in children too, right? So let's say the way that you may scream, like, hey! And that's not always your position, but because you are reactive to everything, every little thing the child does, you're on them, and you're just reacting every single time. The child doesn't get time to breathe. You know you have some parents like that any little thing they're reacting. Any little, good, bad, like they just, it's always a sharp response. You know what I'm saying? And after a while, it makes you nervous. It makes you anxious. The fact that they're always like reacting. It's like, come on, like, can I catch a break? You know what I mean? Okay, so those kind of parents can be very difficult to deal with. And because also as well, for the child, they are always then wondering what's next. And when is it next? And how will it be next? Will I get good cop or bad cop today? Will I get good emotions, bad emotions? And I shouldn't say bad emotions. There's no such thing as good or bad emotions. But will I get someone who's going to be emotional and available today or not emotionally available today? I don't know. But they're going to respond in a way. And am I going to be safe? Will I be safe with the way you're going to respond? Right? Especially if you're dealing with angry parents, alcoholic parents, drug parents, if you're dealing with, narcissistic parents, emotionally volatile parents. Like, if you're dealing with this kind of parents, they will always put a child into a shock state where they're having to look up at like a meerkat and be like, what's going to happen next? You know what I'm saying to you? Like, when you have volatile parents because you can't even, you are afraid to have certain conversations because you're afraid of what they might say. That you're not sure what response you're going to get from them. That it's not even consistent. Like, at least if you knew they were going to blow up, you would think about, I ain't never going to say it to them. They're going to definitely blow up. But you're not even sure whether they will blow up. You're just not sure what you're going to get from them. And that creates anxiety in itself. Right? Or you know that you will get a response for them, but the response will be so disproportionate from the actual situation. It's like, what's the point? Okay. That's number one. Okay. All right. Let's go to the next part. Okay. Let's talk about how it shows up in adult behavior, okay? I'm going to show how does it show up in adult behavior. Now, guys, if we're here, we're almost at, let's get to 25k likes, please, from me, please. Thank you. Let's get to 25k likes for me. We're on 24. Let's get to 25 at least and beyond. You know what I mean? Let's get to 25k likes and beyond. Okay. I hope we hit the 50k by the end of the day. You know what I'm saying to you? Okay. All right. Let's get to that place. Anybody who's here, hold on now. Now, before I go any further, if you are here, listen, we have, I do coaching on a regular basis. I do one-to-one coaching. And that is all based around, usually around the areas of like psychodynamic, but we go into childhood to be able to reveal the patterns as to why you are acting the way you are now. So if you are looking to heal and you are ready, by the way, I like ready people, okay? If you're looking to heal and you're ready, I want you to send me a DM right now, or send me a DM by the end of the show, whatever you want through the show. But I promptness is always better. You know what I'm saying to you? Because sometimes you get scared. You're like, oh, I'll do it later on. You don't do it. We've got 30 seconds. If you're interested in healing your attachment and you're interested in going on a healing journey and you're ready to change, like you've been waiting for that opportunity. Like you've been saying it, but you know that opportunity hasn't necessarily come. I need you to DM me now. Okay, DM me and I'll send you I'll send you a link so we can start getting you on that scale, right? You know what I'm saying to you. I like to do what we call a discovery call first. I want to understand where you're coming from, what you actually need, okay? So that's what in this season, we're doing discovery calls. I didn't do it before, but in this particular season, I'm doing discovery calls. Why? Because I want to be able to understand your latent needs. I want you to understand what you want to achieve as well, okay? So Sarah asks, is there a cost to that? Yes, there is a cost to it. Yes, there is a cost to it. But I can guarantee you it will be very worthwhile. Why? Because I don't just coach you on the coaching call. I also send you analysis of your notes. I give you guys attachment analysis. I then give you journal prompts and then give you worksheets as well on every session, by the way, on every session. Because my thing is I want to build you up. I don't want you just to be with me forever. I'm not building you to stay with me. I'm building you to fly. Okay? So if you feel that you're ready and you're like, you know what? I've been waiting. I've been looking for an opportunity. I need to really get my healing journey on. Heal this attachment wounds, whether it's boundaries, whether it's breakup, whether it's parents, whether it's with marriage. I have married couples that reach out to me. If you want to heal a marriage, listen, this is the time to reach out to me. Okay? Send me a DM. Okay? And I'll send you. Okay? All right? Send me a DM and I'll send you. Okay? All right? And yes, Esmeralda, I see you on the waiting list. I did see you as well, Esmeralda. Thank you. All right? Send me a DM. And we'll send you out some information, okay? Like I said, I want to make sure people are ready for the work we're about to do. I don't need everybody, but we need people. You know what I'm saying to you? Yeah? Okay? All right? Send me a DM, and we will get you again, okay? All right, cool. Thank you, Heidi. Heidi sent me an email. I appreciate it, okay? Rebecca says she's an anxiously attached person. Then Rebecca, you need to reach out to me and book a session with myself, okay? So we can start healing that attachment for you, okay? All right? All right. Jody said, I'm money making. Yeah, coaching's not free. This is why I do these lives for about 3 hours. Yes, I do charge. Because it's not free. If I coached the whole world for free, what would I be doing full time? How would I be able to coach you if I'm not? You know what I mean? Come on now. All right, next thing. The next point we're going to go to is how this behavior shows in adulthood. How this behavior shows up in adulthood. How does it show up in adulthood? Okay? How does it show up in adulthood? Okay, so your anxious attachment is going to show up like this. Number 1, over apologizing. Number 2, people-pleasing behaviors. Number 3, trying to tie your self-worth into external. Number 4, over-giving, as I mentioned before. Okay? Now I'm going to break this down really, really quickly for you guys. Okay? Number 1, you're going to over-apologize to everybody. Why? Because you're afraid of being the bad guy. You are afraid of a bad reputation, and you are afraid that somebody's going to say they don't like you. Okay? So as an adult, you're now apologizing way beyond. In fact, let me give you an example. Someone steps on your foot, you apologize to them. You're like, I'm so sorry. Even though your shoe is scuffed, you're apologizing to them. Why? Because you're afraid of being the bad person, the bad guy. Why? Because that leads to you feeling like you're going to be rejected. So you're over apologizing. What it does, okay, is that it's your tactic and your way of keeping that person close. Okay, all right, your way of keeping that person close, and for you to avoid the dangers of being harmed or hurt or being rejected, abandoned, or betrayed. Okay, so over apologizing. Okay, massive one. Number 2 is becoming a people pleaser. I've already spoke about this before. I won't speak about it too much. This is you becoming a chameleon. This is you not feeling emotionally safe, to able to say no and to hold your boundaries. So people who are anxious, their boundaries usually are very loose. They're like, I'm very go with the flow. You know, whatever you want. Really and truly, that's not how you feel. You don't feel that way. That's not how you feel. You don't feel like, you know what, that you'll go with the flow. That's not how you feel. Okay, all right. Number 3, I said about people pleasing. Within this, let me tell you this. You panic in conflict. Anxious people panic in conflict. They want it to be done they want it to be done quickly, or rather, at least, if there is an argument, you struggle to hold silence. You're like, you know what? Wait a minute. No. Let's mend this thing now. Let's heal this issue quickly now. Let's sort this out now. Because you're uncomfortable with the distance. You're afraid if there is distance between you and the party who may be offended, or you've offended somebody, whichever way it is, they're going to abandon you if there is too much time elapsing. In fact, if there's too much time elapsing, your brain starts to think, they're going to hurt me. Or they're going to leave me. Or they're going to abandon me. Right? So when it comes to conflict, you are very fast to try and patch things up. I want to encourage you, stop patching up so quickly. It sounds good, but you're not actually thinking through what you actually are patching up. And you can tell, because when you get there, you're like, let's just say sorry. Let's just apologize. Okay, whatever it is, I am really sorry. And you're not even thinking deeply about what actually happened. You can tell by your apology that you're not even thinking about what really happened in the situation. That even though you were offended or you were hurt even, you at that point struggle to be able to identify your own needs. And so you over-identify their needs and you start apologizing for whatever you feel like they've been hurt by. And then you leave your needs and what pain you have, you leave it aside. Let's just sort out what you need to sort out. I don't mind about me. Don't worry about me. Right? So apologizing quickly is not a bonus here. Apologizing quickly sometimes is an indication that you're uncomfortable with the distance that you feel has been created emotionally by the conflict. Yes, you have to keep the peace. Okay? That's important. Number 4 is tying your self-worth to external validation. Okay, you gain your self-worth from outside of yourself. You gain it from relationships. You gain it from being a server for people. You gain it for doing things for other people, right? Like, I think a lot of anxious people are very much what we call servers. They serve people. They serve people. They are people who are full of servitude. amazing people. But what they don't realize is they've tied their self-worth into moving and doing. And that's how it shows up in adulthood. And it's why I call you the Samson of your friendship group. You've heard me say it before. I'll say it again. Some of you are the Samson of your group. What does that mean? I'm going to just let's write this down. The Samson. Okay? Samson. What does that? Let's write this down. What does that mean? Samson. Okay? What does that mean? Samson. Okay? Some of you are the Samson of your group. What does that mean? It means that when it comes to your friendship groups, when it comes to your family, when it comes to your relationship, you are holding the pillars with two hands and holding it together. If you stopped holding it together, you feel that the relationships around you will break down and crumble. Now, is it true? Will they crumble? They might do. And if they crumble, guess what? It's probably for the best. Because you've been holding it together falsely. Because you shouldn't be holding a relationship like that. You shouldn't be at a stretch trying to interweave webs with everybody to try and make sure they stay together because you're afraid of being abandoned. Right? So you holding everything together, holding on to everybody, trying to juggle all these things because you're afraid that if you don't, people will abandon you. Time to end that. Time to leave that alone. Okay? Time to stop identifying with their particular needs. Stop being a Samson. Release those pillars. Okay? Some things need to die, just like in Samson's thing. When he finally released those pillars, the thing came down, brush. Some people had to go. It is what it is. Okay? All right? So some of you have developed an anxiety around connection as an adult. You get nervous when you formulate relations with people because your first thought is, will they like me? Some of you in your adulthood, you're asking yourself, will they like me? Okay? All right? Will they like me? Okay? You hyper-focus and you become desperate in relationships. It's why anxious people consistently chase avoidant people. They get desperate and they chase people who actually don't really want them. Because for the anxious person, they must prove that they are worthy. And if they can capture the avoidant person, the meet, if they can capture the road runner, it would prove that they are worthy of love and care and affection. Okay? And they blame themselves for other people's inconsistency. How? Because they over-identify. As an adult, you'll know this in your behavior. That when people are inconsistent, you say, well, it must have been because of me. You know, like, if they'll be better if I did X, Y, and Z. You know, they'll stay happy if I did this and this and this. And when they do that, they're trying to have control. They're trying to elicit some control in a situation which feels like they don't have control, which is another person. Which is why anxious people actually look like they're actually quite controlling. Because they are trying to change behavior in order for other people, in order to keep them to stay. And if I did this, then they'll stay. If I did that, then they'll stay. If I did this, they wouldn't have gone this way. If I did this, they wouldn't have done this. And you're putting way too much importance and weight on you and your behavior as to why people are inconsistent. If they're inconsistent, it's because they want to be inconsistent. It ain't because of you. Okay? All right. Let's talk about some of the behaviors, other behaviors. There's some other ones. Okay. All right. I'll run this quickly. Let me write this quickly. Hold on. Because I need to write it down. Some of the behaviors. Some of the other behaviors. I just said the main 5. Some of the other behaviors. I always miss it. There we go. Some of the other behaviors. Okay. All right. So some other behaviors are hypervigilance to a partner's mood. So you are you're overanalyzing text, tone, and silence. Okay, let me say it again. You're hypervigilant to your partner's moods. You're overanalyzing text, tone, and silence. Number 2, you seek constant reassurance. You're asking repeatedly, Do you still love me? Do you still need me? Do you still want me? You're asking these questions because you're consistently seeking reassurance. Number 3, you're fearful of abandonment. So you panic if your partner slowly replies or is distant. Okay. Number 4, you over prioritize relationships. You sacrifice personal needs in order to keep a partner close. Number 5, again, we said that before, you over apologize, take blame to prevent perceived rejection. Okay. You take the blame to prevent perceived rejection. Number 6, you're emotionally flooding during conflict. You're overwhelmed with fear, anger, and sadness, and you tend to, instead of actually addressing the emotions, you cling. You try to over co-regulate with the person. Okay. Number 7 is difficulty being alone. This is one of the things we didn't address. Difficulty being alone. You feel unworthy, anxious when you're not in a relationship, when you're not being loved up, when you're not being cared for, when you're not getting somebody who just says, I want you. You start to feel like you're unworthy and anxious because you've over-identified with relationships externally for validation. Number 7 is people pleasing to keep emotional safety. Say yes to things you want to say no to. Okay? All right. Let's go. So, some of the things that anxious people actually say. Let's deal with that. Okay? Let's deal with that. Some of the things you say. Okay? This is not enough. Anxious things you say. Let's address that. Okay. Anxious things you say. Let's go. Wee. Listen, if you're with me in a room, okay, and we have 30K, give it to 35K likes. I love what you lot are doing. I love what you guys are doing. Thank you very much for the likes. So, I appreciate it. Let's get to 35K likes. I'm going to keep pushing you anyway. I'm going to keep pushing you. So I keep it. If you're here and you're enjoying it, I need to tap that screen. I don't need anything but just tap that screen if you're here, okay? All right? All right, so let's get this. Anxious things you say. Anxious things you say. Anxious things you say. Okay? So, here's one of the things you might say. You say, why didn't you text me back? Did I do something wrong? Okay? An anxious person will start to overanalyze text messages from people. And so when something like a text message, they'll be like, why didn't you text me back? Did I do something wrong? You immediately personalize the issue as your own. And I want to tell you something. The freedom that you'll get when you stop personalizing everybody else's behavior as something that you did will be the day that freedom feels like fresh air touching your skin. I need you to free yourself from that space. How do you do that? Stop thinking that every behavior is because of you and start thinking the behavior is because of them. That's simple, right? If they did it, right? If they did it, that's on them. They did it. They wanted to do that. And if they're going to tell you that you did something, then okay, they tell you that you did something. But they gonna tell you that you did something. Why are you automatically running to that place? Moonlight said, should I put more blame on my partner? No. We're not putting any blame. What we're saying is their behavior is their behavior. So if they didn't text you for 3 hours, right? There's this, okay, let me give you something. Something I do with my coaching clients. Okay, let's do something. All right. Okay. Let's do something. All right, let's do something. You didn't get that text. All right. Let's do something. Okay. You didn't get that text. Okay. Let's deal with that. You didn't get that text. Because that's a good one. All right. So, you didn't get that text. This one here. You didn't get the text, okay? What happens in your mind is you tell yourself a story. So anybody who's anxious here, help us out. I want to know when your partner didn't text you for 3 hours and you start the spiral, what's the story you're telling yourself? If you could type in the chat, don't make it too personal because we don't need to know everything, you know what I mean? Like, I don't need to expose your whole life, you know what I'm saying to you? But for those of you who are anxious in the chat, when, you get a situation where your partner didn't text you for 3 hours, right? I want you to type in the chat right now. What is a story you told yourself? Sex Tomboy J said there was somebody else. Moonlight says she doesn't rate me. Perception said probably busy. Jay said it said they're cheating. Esmeralda said, did I say something wrong or do something wrong? Okay. Now the question is, Anonymous said, I've messed things up again. I love that response because it's real and a lot of people do have that. The question is, where did you get your narrative from? The question is, where did you get your narrative from? And why is it your mind automatically goes to a negative space? Because you're trying to have some level of control. You see, what you've conditioned yourself to do is that if I did something, I control something. You need to release yourself of the control. Release yourself of the control. Because you can't control anybody. Okay? Release yourself of the control. The reason why you're telling yourself that negative story is because if you did something, then there is something to change. But I need you to stop going to that place of believing there is something to change. You know what I'm saying to you? Right? Stop going for the negative story that you're telling yourself, because that negative story is what sends you into a spiral. Well, here's what you need to do. That story is going to come up. As soon as that story comes up, you have to combat it. It's what we call replacement theory. So something I've just developed, I don't know if that's another name out there, but I gave it replacement theory. Something I learned when I was fighting pornography when I was very, very young, okay, in the faith. When I was first in the faith, I didn't understand. I said, why is pornography hitting me? One thing I learned the Holy Spirit gave me as an example was that, an example of this was, that our weapons of warfare are not carnal; they are mighty for the pulling down of strongholds. Your mind will produce. Okay, your mind will produce a story, and it will produce a story that leaves you in control. But it often is a very negative one. You are overdoing it. You're over this. You're over that. You're down that. Hey, it might be true. But why do you keep going to that story? And so immediately as that story comes up, what you need to do is tell that story to do one. You don't get to live around here rent-free anymore. Skedaddle and get the goings. Move. I'm not here to facilitate your feelings about this today. You know what I'm saying to you? Like, that story wants to send you on a spiral. And you allow the spiral to happen because you want to go down that hill because it makes you feel good when you go down that hill. Stop going down that hill. Stop going down that spiral. Stop the story. As soon as a story comes up, you say, I cancel that. That isn't what's happening. I don't know what's happening. And until they tell me, I won't spiral. Now, that's going to be very easy for me to say and very difficult for you to do. But the issue isn't about you doing it straight away. The issue is about you fighting the good fight here. You need to start fighting the good fight. It won't happen overnight and it won't happen in one day. But what will happen is you will start developing a muscle that starts to resist negative thought patterns. Because what that anxiety is doing is inducing negative thought patterns. Right? So you already know, because if you've asked your partner what they were doing as to why they didn't text you back in 3 hours and they told you I was just busy, why now is it, and notice this now, why is it that you can't tell yourself this story when it happens? Because there is too much conditioning on a subconscious level of reward for going down a negative spiral. Because where it's going to place you, let's talk about this. Where it's going to place you is going to place you in a position of pursuit. And this is going to put you in a position of you being to earn their love again. Because here's what's going to happen. You're going to spiral. You're going to say something that's wrong. Your partner's going to be offended or hurt or annoyed or feel some type of way, and then you are going to do what? Chase. And when you chase, what are you hoping to do? To catch. And when you catch, what does that prove? You are worthy of what? Love. Why? Because you earned it. You need to stop going down that hill, stop going down that spiral, stop chasing. Okay? And I'm not saying about chasing a text. That's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about chasing them emotionally. See, it's not about a physical chase. It's not even you about double texting them. No. It's about the emotional chase that happens where when that person, when you sabotage and that person begins to emotionally distance themselves, you are chasing them emotionally, as somebody said, chasing them energetically. That's the issue. You know? That's what happens. Someone said, what about if I don't chase but leave? Or is that a more fearful avoidant? Yeah, a more avoidant person will try to leave. And that also is another way of being manipulative, in the sense of you want that person to chase you to prove that you're worthy and wanted. But that's a story for another day. Okay? Number 2 on this things that anxious people say is, I'm sorry, it's probably my fault. You're one of those people that always say, I'm sorry, it's probably my fault. This, I need you to stop doing it. Okay, all right? This, I'm sorry, it's probably my fault. Why are you saying it's probably your fault? It either is or isn't. You know what I mean? Why are you saying it's probably my fault? Because you're really hoping that you're taking the blame would, they won't leave you. But why are you saying probably? Because you're not confident in this. Because it's not you. Okay? Stop saying that. Number 3, are we okay? I just need to hear you say it again. Okay? And really what you're trying to say is, I need reassurance to feel secure because love feels fragile. I want you to understand this. Co-regulation is important with anxious people. There is nothing wrong with asking your partner for more reassurance. Nothing is wrong with you asking your partner for more reassurance. But what you must begin to do is also learn how to self-soothe. What does that look like? It looks like emotional regulation. It looks like learning how to regulate your feelings so they don't run you. Okay? So they don't run you. Okay? Yeah? I need to make sure my finger's in. Hold on. My laptop's about to die. Okay? All right, number four is, I can't stop thinking about them. Did I mess up? It's another one. Feeling like they're always messing up. Okay? That people always feel like they are messing up. They feel like, you know what? I've done something wrong. I did anything. You know what I'm saying to you? And they always want to be in that space. Okay? Yeah, Fearful of Women will be next week. Right? They always feel like they are, that I've done something wrong. And so you're stuck in a loop of fear that love is conditional. Okay? You're stuck in a place that love is conditional, rather than thinking of it as, I'm loved because of who I am. And finally, I'll do anything to fix this. Meaning you'll sacrifice yourself even if it means he should stay. Okay? Now, many people end up in cheating relationships like this. Okay? All right? Many people end up in cheating relationships like this. Because for them, they will do anything to keep that person in a relationship. Hey! Even if it means sacrifice themselves, they will do it. You know what I'm saying? Hold on. Okay. I almost flipped up and broken myself. Damn. Hold on. Damn, I got cramp in my stomach. Ugh. The workout for today's gym was hurting me now, boy. Aish. Eesh. Sorry. Yeah. Okay. Cool. Woo. We gonna get there. Don't worry. We gonna get there. Okay. All right. So I'm going to give you some reframing, okay? We're going to give you some reframing, okay? Reframe is really important. Reframe. What does that mean? It means to reshape, rethink the way that we allow our thoughts to take place, okay? Reframe, all right? Reframe. I'm going to give you these phrases. I'm going to reframe them. I want you guys to write this down. If you've got pen and paper, get ready to write these down, okay? So we're going to reframe, all right? We are going to reframe a lot of these sentences, okay? I want you to pay attention. Make sure you grab a pen and paper. We're going to reframe these sentences. Number one is, if they pull away, I must have done something wrong. So if you're an anxious person saying this belief is a belief system, if they pull away, I must have done something wrong. Here is a secure attachment belief. Others' emotions are not always about me. I can offer understanding without self-blame. I'm going to say it one more time. If they pull away, I must have done something wrong. The secure belief is others' emotions are not always about me. I can offer understanding without self-blame. Thank you very much, Miss Bright. Okay? That's number one. Make sure you're writing these down. Number two, I have to be perfect to be loved. Okay? I have to be perfect to be loved. Meaning, and okay, the secure attachment to that is I am worthy of love even when I am imperfect, messy, or emotional. I'm going to say it one more time. I have to be perfect to be loved. I am worthy, this is a secure attachment response, of love when I'm imperfect, messy, or emotional. Okay? Number three, if they don't respond right away, they don't care. If they don't respond right away, they don't care. The secure belief in that is this: good relationships can survive temporary silence or distance or conflict. I'm going to say it again. If they don't respond right away, they don't care. Good relationships can survive temporary silence or distance or even conflict. Okay? Number four, I have to fix things quickly or they'll leave me. I have to fix things quickly or they'll leave me. It is safe to take time. Conflict or discomfort does not mean abandonment. Say it one more time. I have to fix things quickly or they'll leave me. It is safe to take time. This is really important. Part of the self-soothing is taking time to process the emotions. It is safe to process the emotions you have, working through them, asking yourself questions why you feel what you feel. Okay, so it's safe to take time take time. Conflict or discomfort does not mean abandonment. You feeling uncomfortable is not meaning that you're about to be abandoned. It is simply you being uncomfortable with the fact that there is some silence and there is some aspect of there being distance. It will return. Allow it to snap back like an elastic band. Okay. Number five in this aspect. Needing reassurance means I am too much. You needing reassurance means I am too much. A secure attachment belief is that it is normal and healthy to reassure sometimes. It is normal and healthy to need reassurance sometimes. Okay? Number six, if I don't constantly give, I will lose them. If I don't constantly give, I will lose them. True connection is mutual. Giving and receiving should flow both ways. Okay? If I don't constantly give, I'll lose them. But it says true connection is mutual. Giving and receiving should flow both ways. Okay? All right? The last two. I have to monitor and manage their feelings to feel safe. Now, this is a major one for anxious people. I have to monitor and manage their feelings to feel safe. Okay? And so the secure belief is, I can trust others to handle their own emotions. My job is to be responsible for me. Okay? I can trust others to handle their own emotions. My job is to be responsible for me. And the final one in this belief system is, without constant connection, relationships fall apart. That's your belief as an anxious person. Without constant connection, relationships fall apart. Healthy relationships breathe. Connection can flex without breaking. Okay? So you wanting the relationship to always be on, it's not necessary. Healthy relationships can breathe. Connection can flex without breaking. It's okay to have a bit of space. They ain't going nowhere. They ain't going to die on you. Okay? All right? You ain't going to die on them. All right? You're going to be okay when you have that space. All right? You're going to be okay. All right? Okay. All right. So, let's get to this page. You said you wanted to know. Okay, here's some exercises that I have. I won't go to, because every other God is a night. Oh, cannot see when I don't. Okay, so I got 3 exercises for you guys, which we're going to talk about. Okay, to help you guys along the way. So 3 exercises. Okay, 3 exercises I've got. Now, before I go any further, again, once more, we're almost at 35k likes. Thank you very much, guys, as well. I appreciate it. Before I go any further, I want to, again, let you guys know, if you are here and you are ready to heal, you're ready to go on your journey of healing, because I want ready people. I want to be honest with you. I want ready people. If you are ready to begin that journey, I want to let you know. Okay? I want to let you know there is personal coaching with myself, one-to-one, that you can do, or maybe that might be a little bit too much for you right now. We are formulating a community where we are going to be able to, I'm going to be able to feed you my notes, give you worksheets, give you guys, my links to the books that I read, or even articles or videos that I watch. So it won't be personal coaching with me, but more of a community you want to join. If you feel like you want to join a community rather than doing the one-to-one coaching, that is also powerful as well. I want to be able to extend that grace to you guys as well. Now, it won't be free. It's a subscription model. Okay, because I'll be giving you guys all the notes that I have, notes like what we've done today, because again, it's all on a PDF file, PowerPoint, with all the notes on there as well. Okay, so maybe that's a bit more for you. Maybe you're not ready for the one-to-one coaching. It might be a little bit too expensive, or it might be you're just not ready for that just yet, but you may be ready more for the joining the community. I've called the community Genesis. Because we're returning back to the very original state that you were supposed to be in, untouched, unbroken, but loved and cared for. And so if you are interested in that and you're looking to join a community that is a private community, again, then please reach out to me, give me an email, or if you're looking for one-to-one coaching, send me an email or hit me up in my DMs for me as well. Okay, all right. And we would love to have you guys on there as well. Again, it's not free, but I'll send you the details as well, okay? Like I said, it's not for everybody, but it's for those who are ready to begin their journey of healing and the growth and the transformation. If you are in that place where you're like, you know what? I am ready. This is the year. I said I'm going to change, choose, be different. Then this is where you need to be. You're not here by chance. You know what I'm saying to you? You're here because the algorithm brought you around here. I ain't gonna say God did it. I'm gonna tell you the algorithm brought you here. People that would tell you like, oh, God brought you here. Brother, the algorithm brought you here. And it's okay. I ain't gonna lie on God like that, okay? I ain't gonna do that to my God. You're probably searching for it, and this came up. So I ain't gonna lie on a God like that. You feel what I'm saying to you? But shout out to the God. He is good, and he is amazing as well, okay? All right, so we're going to work on 3 exercises, okay? We're going to work on 3 exercises here, guys. We're going to work on 3 exercises, okay, to bring some healing, okay? All right? 3 exercises. Someone says, am I implying that your algorithm brought you here? Absolutely. Your algorithm, your searches, you're talking on your phone too much. You've been mentioning anxiety way too much, and you found yourself on this particular TikTok. And God bless you for being here. We appreciate you, Inada, as well. All right, cool. So the first one, for healing your attachment of an anxious person. Just 3 simple exercises. Number 1. Okay, all right, for dealing with something like when you are triggered or you are overwhelmed. Okay, all right. Now the big issue for this is that when you seek reassurance externally from partners, friends, and text, calls, whatever, you overwhelm other people. Okay, all right. When you are consistently trying to co-regulate with other people, you overwhelm them, because you put a lot of pressure on them to try and cool you down. Okay, now there's nothing wrong with you actually reaching out to people to co-regulate, but when that's a consistent theme as to how you co-regulate, I have to call someone, I have to text somebody, I have to do this in order to cool down, you're going to put a lot of pressure on other people to do those things. Okay, now, so how do we heal that particular feeling of being triggered all the time? Like, for instance, let's say they didn't text you back. Okay, all right, let's say they don't text you back. What do you do? Now, there is 2 ways you can do this, okay? We can do the verbal conversation with ourselves, okay? Which is, you might say, you might just, I like to, thank you, Esmeralda, I was going to say it, but you said it for me. Someone will say, put your hand on your heart and just focus on the breathing. Focus on the breathing. The reason why you're trying to do that is you're trying to bring your body and your emotions into alignment. Because what's happening is your nervous system is firing off. And so you just need to calm it down before you decide to go and erupt and do something. Okay? So we focus on the breathing just to calm the nervous system down and slow down the body. Okay? All right? And slow down that nervous system. Now, number 2, what you're going to do on that is you can say some affirmations. Right? You can say, I'm loved even when I feel insecure. Okay? Not hearing from someone doesn't mean that I'm unworthy. Right? Now, I'm a bit of a fighter. I like to challenge certain thoughts. I'm like, why am I feeling like I'm unworthy because they're not messaging me? Why do I feel like I'm abandoned because they're not messaging me? I start challenging those thoughts because I want to have a conversation. I'm like, why are you feeling that? Okay? Why are you thinking that? I like to challenge some of those thoughts. You feel me, right? I challenge them and I have a conversation. I say, why is it you're feeling that? Because I need to understand where that's coming from. Okay, that's another one. Now, my thing is here, okay, when you are having what I call an emotional arousal, where your emotions are overwhelming, here's my one. I'm a fighter. If you're a fighter, just type in the chat for me that you're a fighter. Type in the chat for me. If you're a fighter, type for me in the chat for me. I wanna do something with you. Okay? If you are a fighter, this one's for you. This is not for everybody. What I'm about to suggest is not for everybody. It's for those who are a fighter. I'm not gonna lie to you. For those who are a fighter, I'm not trying to tempt you into being a fighter, by the way. I'm genuinely saying that your natural ethos is you like to fight. Whether it's through words, whether it's through punching people, please don't punch people. But you are naturally a fighter. Like you do go. You know what I'm saying to you? Like you ain't afraid of the conflict, them thing there. You get me? You're ready to go when it needs to happen. You're about to go. You know what I'm saying to you? Okay. Now the reason why I'm saying that is this. Okay. What I'm about to suggest to you. Okay. Be a fighter. Okay. When you're a fighter, you need to go to war with that thought process. When you are overwhelmed and you feel triggered, this is for the fighters, not for everybody. There is a place you have to go to in your mental and begin to war with your own image. Okay? It's a battle of mental toughness. It's not even a word, but I made it up. Okay? There's a battle of the mental. And what you're going to do, you can stand, you can sit, however you want to do it, okay? And what you're going to do is you're going to go into your mind and you're going to envisage yourself challenging that thought process physically. And you're going to say, listen, you're not going to outrun me, and you're not going to outgun me, and you're not going to outfight me. And you're going to have this fight in your mind. Toxicity is real. I'm telling you, what you're doing is you're seeing who has the endurance. Look, the emotional arousal will only last for a certain amount of time. It will die down. I can guarantee it. It will die down. It's just that you're used to giving in. So whenever you have an emotional arousal, you're used to doing something to release the tension. In this situation, I'm saying to you, when it comes, you are saying, let's go. I am not going to move from this spot, but you are going to move. Now, honestly, you might be there for maybe 3 to 5 minutes max, or maybe even less than that, but it might feel like you've been there for an hour. Why? Because you are having an intense battle. You normally see this in anime, right? You see an anime where they start conjuring up a particular enemy that they're fighting, and it's not a real fighter. We saw this in Creed 3, where it goes into this thing where he's fighting the character and it's like almost cartoonish, right? It's a real thing. So when that wave comes, you are challenging yourself not to move and not to surrender. That today, this thing has to go. Has to. We can't play. Okay? Yes, Kengan Ashura has this as well, yes. Right? Because that's what fighters do. Their fight is with themselves. And the issue is within ourselves. So for those who really are fighters, this thing, listen, you might not win the first one. You might not win the second one. But it's for those who are fighters, because eventually when you win, I tell you, when you win, it feels disgustingly good. Right? It feels disgustingly good. But I'm saying that for those who are fighters, because that's your natural tendencies. You want conflict and you want war. That's what your natural disposition is. If that is your case, this is where you can stand your ground and be like, listen, we are not giving in to this arousal. Yes, they haven't texted me for 3 hours, but I'm not about to go down that spiral, and I'm not about to go into that place where I have a negative thought process. No, I'm not doing it. I'm not doing it. And we'll sit here and see who gonna win. Give yourself a few minutes. The emotional arousal will reduce. It will be like a flood of water that has come to the beachfront and then begins to retreat. Yeah? It's not easy. But what you're facing is the discomfort. See, the issue isn't the arousal. The issue is the discomfort you feel from the arousal. So what we are fighting is actually the discomfort and saying, I may feel discomfort, but I'm about to diss you, so all that's left is comfort. Because you ain't gonna out comfort me. You know what I'm saying to you? You ain't gonna come for me either. Because I'm gonna tell you this is my body and it's my mind. Right? That's one of the ways as well. Okay? Alright? So we need to teach the brain to reassure itself from the inside first. Not always from chasing someone else. And like I said, part of that is also changing the narrative. Okay? Alright? It ain't easy, I can tell you that for them. Number 2. Okay? Now this is slightly in alignment with number 1, but a little bit different. Okay? A little bit different. Okay? I remember I had an issue with anxiousness. For those of you who are Christians, this might be very good for you as well. Okay? Alright. Alright. So. Alright, cool. Number 2, okay? We're going to create a plan. 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 Okay? We're going to create a plan. Alright? So, when your anxiety spikes fast, maybe there's a relationship change, or whether there's been some kind of thing, something that's happened that's made you, threw you off slightly in the relationship, right? Right? And you feel this wave of anxiety now. All of a sudden you're like, what is happening? Now, some of you might already do it. You know, you go for the gym. Some of you might even go for a jog. That's very good. If you've got an activity that will help you calm down, walking, breathing, journaling, please don't listen. Let me tell you this now. My phone, let me show you something. Because you ain't gonna get me. Okay? You ain't gonna get me. Alright? I have 644 recordings of voice memos. Whenever I start feeling some type of way, this phone gets whipped out like a bad boy. Yeah, 644. Whenever I start feeling some type of way, I whip it open, I press that big old red button, and I'm like, you know what? I'm talking to this thing right now, blood. It's not gonna get me, cuz. Right? Whenever I start feeling some type of way, I talk to the bad boy. We gonna have a conversation. Because I need somewhere to dispel something that I'm feeling right now. It needs to come out. So I'm going to talk to the bad boy right now and let him know that big old red button, we going to have a conversation. Okay? We going to have a big ass conversation. Yep. We going to have... I have some things in there that when I listen back to, I said, God damn, that wasn't Christian like, but I had to do it. Okay, all right. Some of you need to be in that space, that room of the bad boy. Whoo, baby, you can say some things in there that you never were gonna say in your entire life, but you need to say it because you need to get it out of there. Okay, all right. You know, and you say some real thoughts in there, right? And you don't come out. We call it don't come out of the hyperbolic time chamber just yet. You gotta stay in there. That's for some tough tossity. You're absolutely right. That's for some tough tossity. You need to be able to release some things in there. Right? That's the hyperbolic time chamber. Okay? All right? So when you're in there, you get to have your little fight in there. Say what you need to say because you need to release all that what's on your heart and your mind. When you've released it, you'll also feel like a weight lifted off your shoulders. Because a lot of times the pressure you're feeling is from your silence. A lot of time, the pressure you're feeling from your anxiety is coming from your silence. Right? And what you don't realize is the first person that needs to see you and hear you is you. You need to see you and hear you. That's the first thing you need to do. Okay? All right? So that for me is another bad boy for me. Right? Whipping out the bad boy and going into journaling, maybe walking, breathing, you need it. Now, for those of you who are Christians, tongues, bruv, let me tell you something. For those of you who are Christians, that you have the Lord and personal Savior as your... When that anxiety hits and you're in the rabakuntusa parakaparabasa, when you take that energy into the prayer, bro. In fact, don't leave it there. Go and, if you can't go outside your house, maybe it's nighttime, and then you have to be inside your house. Just do a little pacing up and down with the reba baba soko tayalaba. Listen, make it active. Use your hands. Use your legs and your hands, because this is warfare now. You understand what I'm saying to you? Yeah? When I used to do it, I would even start pretending to box. I'm imagining myself with a boxing thing. Because I want to release the frustration that I'm feeling. You get what I'm saying to you? Like, I'm being funny, but I'm being very real right now. The amount of times that I was there, just standing there. After 15, blood. After 15, if you ain't, if that anxiety, give it 10. If the anxiety hasn't left, you've left. So the anxiety can stand there, but you're no longer standing there. You're seated in heavenly places. My guy, you're not even in the same room no more. You know what I'm saying to you? Prayer will do it. Prayer will do it. It will it will do it to you. You know what I'm saying to you? So if you pray and you have a God, I have a God who never failed. We have a God who never fails. I have a God who never fails. Who never fails. My Jesus never fails. Forevermore. All right. Number 3. Okay? Number 3. All right? Number 3. Here's the thing. Okay? Come on. I have a God who never fails. We have a God who never fails. I have a God. I need you to commit to something. Who never fails. My Jesus never fails. Commit to something. Who never fails forevermore. I need you to commit to something. Okay? What am I saying commit to? Here's what you need to commit to. I need you to commit to something this week. Okay? For you. You see, anxious people self-abandon themselves. And actually, a lot of the anxiety comes from the fact that you have placed you've placed all your validation coming from the person you're in a relationship with, right? Or the people that are closest to you. And so oftentimes you've actually self-abandoned yourself somewhere in the course of the week. So I need you to commit to something. Commit to what? Commit to maybe a gym class, commit to tennis, commit to learning badminton, commit to pottery class, commit to something once a week. Why? You need something that you can look forward to. You need something that you can look forward to. You ever had a holiday booked? No, for real. Thank you very much, Myra. Have you ever had a holiday booked? And it doesn't matter what happens. All you can think about is, it's 2 weeks away, I'm on holiday. It doesn't matter what they do. In 2 weeks' time, I'm gone. I won't hear nothing that you got to say. Do your worst, because in 2 weeks' time, I'm on the beach with pina colada and my feet are up. I'm on a beach by blue seas. Why is that? Because you have something to look forward to. So what happens? You mitigate their anxiety. Right? You mitigate the anxiety. That's a big thing. Having something to look forward to. A lot of times what you're looking forward to is your relationship, which is great. That's fine. That's not a problem. But that's the only thing you're looking forward to. Where's your other thing that you look forward to? Like your gym class or your boxing class. You know? Have something that you're looking forward to during the course of the week. And commit to it. Don't self-abandon. Okay? All right? Again, you can do affirmations, which are like, I'm whole even when I'm alone. My life is full with or without someone else beside it, of course. But me, commit to something. Commit to something outside of all your friends. You don't need, and this one, it doesn't require you to go with everybody else. This is not a thing you've booked in a week that you go with all your friends. Please, if you know you booked it with all your friends, it's not the one. The thing you're booking is solely for you. Okay? It's solely for you. The thing that you're booking is solely for you. Esmeralda said, Kojo, when I get like this, I want to run away, fly out, leave without a trace. Is that bad? It can be. It can be. Because sometimes you're avoiding your actual issues and avoiding the main issue of what you're trying to solve. And instead of actually solving it, you run away. You know what I mean? So sometimes you can. Sometimes you might need it though. It's also good for you sometimes, right? It depends, and you got to know the balance. Okay, all right, okay, cool. Those are my 3 things for you personally. All right, let's get into this because we need to talk about the tension that deep inside is real and it hurts. Absolutely, that tension. Listen, look, that tension is real. You need it. The tension is letting you know there is something to begin to work with. Today I was at the gym. And this is my first time in the gym that I've properly gone hard. I was doing leg day. Ain't nothing worse than a leg day. I was on my leg day and I was going hard. And I felt sick. See, I go hard with the chest or the arms, not a problem. But to go hard with the legs, I felt I wanted to be sick. I actually wanted to fall down and pass out right there and then. But you know what kept me going? I said, listen, I want them sexy legs for the summer. Okay? I want your Who's Your Daddy shorts on with the sexy thigh. Okay? All right? Like, but the pain that I felt in that immediate moment was crazy. Okay? All right? I felt it. Painful. But the reality of the situation is that pain, that discomfort is needed. It's going to improve you. Okay? It's needed. It's going to improve you. It's going to make you better. If you can sit in that discomfort and challenge it, and you realize that you win, it will change your life, man. All right, last few things, okay? Last few things. How do we deal with someone, okay? How do we deal with someone, sorry. Okay. How do we deal with somebody who's an anxious person in a relationship? How do we deal with somebody who's an anxious person in a relationship? Oh, sorry. Number one is be a fighter. So replacement theory. Number two is create a plan. Number three is commit to something. Okay. So number one is be a fighter. Number two is create a plan. Number three is commit to something. Okay. All right. Now, this is a part for those of you who are in relationships with anxious people. This is what you're talking about today. Okay. All right. We're going to talk about it. Okay. We're going to talk about it. If you're in a relationship with an anxious person, this is for you today. Okay. All right. This is for you. All right. See, I have a God who never fails. I have a God who never fails. We have a God who has never failed. All right, cool. Who has never failed. My Jesus never failed forevermore. All right. Okay. All right, cool. So moving on to the next part, we're talking now about how to deal with somebody who's an anxious in a relationship. Okay. We're going to talk about dealing with somebody who's in a relationship. Okay. Now, again, once more, I want to let you guys know, if you have not done so already, if you're looking to join a community, okay, if you're looking to join a community, you're looking to be with like-minded people who want to heal and grow and transform their attachment style, then listen, I want you to send me a direct email, okay? Now, there are other people as well who want to do the group coaching, slightly different. So group coaching is slightly different. If you're looking to do group coaching, that's slightly different. This is just for the community. Okay, so if you're looking just to be a part of the community, then please send me a message in my DMs or email me as well. If you're looking for more personalized one-to-one coaching, maybe you want to do some coaching one-to-one, by all means, please reach out to me as well. I will send you a link. What I'm doing now, as I said beforehand, is also what we call a discovery call. We want to make sure that I'm the right kind of coach for you. As much as you love me here, I may not be the right coach for you, and that's okay for me as well. I want to make sure that you're in the best hands possible. I may not be the right kind of person for you. So I want to make sure that is that case, okay? So make sure you reach out to us. Again, send me a DM if you are interested, if you're somebody looking to heal, transform, grow. You said enough is enough in 2025. You are going to be healed by the end of the year. In fact, before the end of the year, you want to be healed. You said, I'm going to do some work on myself. Then this is the time. Reach out to us, whether it's one-to-one coaching or whether you want to be part of the community. Please send me a DM or use my email, which is in my bio, and we will get you on the beginning of that journey. We're here to help you guys, and we are going to win. Okay, all right? We are going to win. We're some fighters around here. Okay, someone type in the chat Genesis for me, and let's get ourselves to 40k likes. Type in the chat Genesis, and let's get ourselves to 40k likes. We're on the last leg of our live. We are on the last leg of the live. Okay. Ooh, this teaching gonna take me out. I'm tired, but we are strong. Okay. All right, we strong. All right, cool. So let's get this started. Okay. All right, let's get it started. So, reassurance, number one. Okay, so if you're dating an anxious person, number one thing you need to understand is this: you must offer reassurance calmly. Okay, so let me just start this. First here, so I've got to put my sheet. Hold on now. Okay, dating, so you know exactly what we're talking about. Okay, dating. All right, we're on a dating section now. On a dating an anxious person. Okay, dating an anxious person. All right, cool. So if you are dating an anxious person, okay, the number one thing you must understand is they're going to need reassurance calmly. Okay, all right? Because they have a likelihood to spiral, and when they spiral, it ain't pretty for anybody. Don't forget to get us to 40K likes. They're going to spiral. Okay, so here's something you can say to an anxious person that will help offer them reassurance. Saying things like, I care about you. We're good. I'm not going anywhere. I've got your back. Don't worry. Saying things like, needing reassurance doesn't make you needy. It makes you human. Right? Saying statements of reassurance to reassure the anxious person is one way to offer it calmly. We're not going to dismiss or make fun of somebody who's anxious. We are saying to them, we have their back, because their fear is abandonment. So letting them know, I'm not going anywhere. I am with you, and I'm here to support you. I care about you, and I love you. I cherish you. We are good. I'm not going anywhere. I know we just had an argument, but I want you to understand I am with you in this. I know we didn't see eye to eye, but I want you to understand I have your back in this. I know it went wrong just a minute ago, but I want to let you know that we together are a team and we are going forward together. Okay? Now, this helps stop the emotional spiral that they like to go into, because it lets them know that, there is a safe place for them. It lets them know that no matter what happened, that their overthinking doesn't take them into the spiral. That actually, they're already thinking, you must not like them, you don't want them, you want, you don't really, care about me. Before you get to that stage, you've already let them know, I'm here for you. Okay. Moonlight said, how do I get this onto my partner's FYP? I don't know, but you know what you can do? Tell them to come and book a session with me. That's what you can do. Let the mandem come. I've got a couple of mandem too, Don't play with it now. Okay. Why is this difficult to do? Let me tell you why it's difficult to do. This is a very difficult thing to do, because what happens is people ask, why do I need to reassure somebody? Aren't you a grown-ass adult? Why do I need to keep on reassuring you? Am I not enabling your behavior? Like, are you a child? Why do you need me to keep saying that I'm with you? I'm already with you. So why do I need to keep saying it, right? And so those things are fair, but the reality of the situation is that is not how your partner feels. Okay, that's not how your partner feels. Chop Life Chan said, how do you deal with bipolar people? I don't know. I haven't done that work yet, so I wouldn't be able to tell you. Okay? All right, so that's important to understand. Okay? Offer reassurance. Number 2. Okay? Number 2. All right? Number 2 is be consistent with actions and words. Okay? Number 2 is be consistent with actions and words. Anxious people struggle with changes and things that are inconsistent, because that's what they suffered in their childhood. So you need to be consistent with your words and actions. Or I should say, rather, be congruent in that space. Okay? So, for instance, you might say, I said I'll check in later. Here I am. I said I'll be back by 5 p.m. It's 4:59 and I'm here. Okay? You might say, I'm busy today, but I'm still thinking about you. I'll call you after work. And you call after work and say, hey, babe, how you doing? Right? Keeping consistency with actions and words. Saying you are going to be this and you're going to do this. Okay? So keeping an even keel and sticking to the consistency and the commitment of how you're going to behave, keeping congruency of your words and your actions. This will help them, because their inconsistency scares them. So when your actions have misaligned with your words, you apologize and let them know you can understand how this could be affecting them, and you want them to understand that they can still trust you and you're still here for them. Okay? All right? So, avoid hot and cold behavior. If you say you're going to call. If you say you're going to meet up, show up. Small consistency builds massive trust over time. You don't need to do it big. Small consistency is what's needed. Okay? Small consistency is what's needed. Okay? Now, someone might say that why can't they just understand that sometimes things change? Okay? They might say things like, people, why do people find it difficult? Because they might say things change. So am I going to have to say like sorry every single time? Or, someone might say, I hear it, but, you're not always consistent too. So why do I have to be so consistent? And look, the whole point of the matter is your feelings are valid, but you have to understand it's not about feelings being valid in this instance, about also understanding we are doing what's best for the relationship and for the person in front of you. If you want them to thrive, then do what it takes, right? We're not operating so we can win. We're operating so we can be understood. Okay. Number 3 is emotional flooding. What to do when they are emotionally flooding. Okay. So when they get anxious and they're panic texting, panic calling, over explaining, and they're feeling hyperactive. I want to say something. This is another thing I've noticed. Okay, for those, especially if you're in a relationship, because that's what we're talking about, right? I want you to try something, right? You need to stay calm, and that stay calm. Okay, I've always said this as well. Like, of course, consent is sexy, by the way. So please consent this. When someone is over anxious, here's what I've done in my past situations. I remember I was dating someone and I said this to them. I said, hey, you're doing a lot right now. I said, you just need to take a breath and a break, take a rest. And I said, listen, is it okay if I hug you? Let's just hug for a few minutes. Because what I realized is that they needed to be grounded and they weren't, right? So I wanted to be grounded, and I said, can I hug you? And then we hugged, and for a few minutes, the person then was able to just release the tension and the feeling of the flooding that they were feeling. And I didn't even realize what that was. It's a co-regulating behavior to do so, to hug someone in that anxious state where they are overwhelmed by the emotions. But again, first and foremost, ask for consent. Don't just go and hug them thinking it's a great idea, because they may not want you to touch them. Okay? Consent is sexy. Okay? So yes, when someone is in that emotional state, calm tone, just don't mock them, don't shut down, or don't escalate, which is what avoidance will tend to do. Don't mock, don't shut down, and do not escalate. Stay neutral. Okay, validate their feelings first. I see you're feeling a little bit scared right now. I can see that you're feeling anxious right now. Okay, it's okay. We can work through this. Again, puts you in a space of teamwork. Okay. All right. Next one. Number 4 is avoid interpreting. I don't know why I did that one. Oh, that's the 3. My bad. I thought I had more, but that's actually a 3. I was avoidant. I thought it was a 4th one, but I only done 3. So I repeat again. Number 1, offer reassurance calmly. Number 2, be consistent with words and actions. And number 3, stay calm during an emotional flooding session as well. Okay? All right? So those are the 3 there as well. For those of you who are dating them, okay? For those of you who are dating them, remember, offer reassurance calmly. Okay? Offer reassurance calmly. Be consistent with your words and actions. Okay? And stay grounded as well. Stay consistent, grounded. All right? So those are 3. Okay, if you're dating someone who's an anxious person, I want to let you know the main thing you need to understand about someone who's anxious is that they're always afraid of abandonment. So if you can alleviate that fear of abandonment, let them know that you are here, okay, and that you are supporting them, and that you are you are here for them and you're backing them, is a great way to be able to allow them to be able to know that they have somewhere safe to be able to ground themselves with, and you are that safe space. Okay. All right, so I'm going to open a panel for a few minutes. If you've got any questions or anything like that, let me know. If you've got any questions, let me know. Otherwise, I will take my due as well, because I know we've been on for almost 3 hours now, so I'm just being very much aware of that as well. Okay, I want to get your thoughts. Any other thoughts, guys? I have opened up the panel. If you have any questions, please, it's questions. I don't need anyone's opinion today. That's on Thursday. Thursday nights are opinion days. Someone asked me, are avoidant afraid of abandonment as well? They can be. They can be. I do believe so. Especially if you're fearful avoidant. Especially if you're fearful avoidant. Again, once more, don't forget, if you are looking for growth and healing, please, by all means, DM me. If you want to be one-to-one coaching, or you would like to be part of a community and a group, then let me know. Okay, all right. Kumbaya, oh Lord, kumbaya. Someone's crying, Lord. Kumbaya, oh Lord, kumbaya. Zidadabasitadabasidodos. All right, listen, if no one's got a question, today is an early one anyway. Okay, I'll take an early break for me. I probably need it, to be honest. If no one's coming up. Yeah. Okay. Oh, listen, if no one's got questions, that's good. It's not a bad thing. Well, listen, if you want the notes, or you want to have worksheets, maybe you want to have community, please also DM me as well. And you can be part of the community when I do send out those things. Are you doing NEMS tomorrow? Yes, we are. Tomorrow we are doing Never Ever Mets. Never would have made it without you. I would have lost it all. And now I see you're always there for me, yes. I'm bigger, I'm stronger, I'm wiser, so much better than you. Okay. Yes, I haven't. I need to do it. Okay, but I didn't get to do past week. Yeah, I haven't done it either. Jay, I haven't even watched it, to be honest. I haven't even watched it. I've been tired as anybody. You get me? But we be like that. Okay. Listen. Well, listen. I'm gonna... Social media, SN. Oh, yeah, I will DM. I'll respond to DMs, guys. I'll respond to DMs. Yeah, me. I'll respond to DMs. Guys, listen. My time's up. Look, we're going to be back on here Thursday night, okay? Thursday night, we're going to be back here. Also, guys, make sure you guys are following the other TikTok, because I've changed the name. It's called Return to Genesis, okay? Make sure you guys are following, because after next week, we will be on this particular platform full time. I will no longer be doing the lives on Black Muscle. So listen, if you haven't already, go on this and follow, because it will be doing lives from there. I've been able to do live now on that particular thing. So somehow without 1,000 people, I can go live. So we'll be on there as well. Okay. Toyin said, I've sent you an email. Please respond. Okay. No worries. I will be, okay? You'll have something in the morning, because I ain't gonna lie to you, okay? I will respond to your email in the morning. I ain't gonna lie to you, okay? All right? So that I don't make any mistakes, because right now, my eyes are doing school. Woo! All right, listen. Let me just say thank you quickly to those of you who gifted, because I didn't see it. I apologize. Hold on. Thank you for Jay Hussein, Myra, Soft Heart, Myra again, Lily Ann, Sexy Tomboy, Miss Bright, Sarah, P Beauty, Nyla, Moon, Lloyd D. Thank you so much for those of you who shared and gave gifts as well. Thank you as well. If you haven't done so already, there is a YouTube channel that you guys should go. If you want to watch the replay, I will be putting it on my other YouTube channel. I'm going to just show you quickly. Yes, see, yes, you are the Lord. As you can see, I put it on LVB 91 Coaching. You can already see I put the lives up on there. So if you want to watch the replay, go and subscribe to that YouTube channel. All the lives are on there as well. Okay, all right. If you want, go and subscribe to that YouTube channel. All the lives are on there as well. I will upload it there later on for you tomorrow night. All right, listen. I appreciate you guys. Stay locked. So we're going to see you again on Thursday night. We're back next week for Fearful Avoidant Breakdown. I appreciate you. Stay locked. So we'll see you again soon.